Have you ever felt like you were constantly walking on eggshells? Like no matter what you said or did, it was never enough? One moment they love you, the next they tear you down. You feel confused, drained, and second-guessing everything. This is emotional warfare. And narcissists, they are masters at it. They don't fight fair. They don't argue with logic. They don't seek resolution, they seek control. But here's what they don't want you to know. You can defend yourself. You can take back your power. And you can outsmart them without playing their game. In this video, we're going to expose the psychological tricks narcissists use to break you down, how to emotionally detach so they lose power over you, the ultimate defense strategy that makes a narcissist back off. Because the truth is, once you stop reacting, once you stop feeding their ego, they lose control over you. And when you finally see through their game, you'll realize they were never as powerful as they made you believe. Let's dive in. Understanding narcissistic warfare, how they play mind games. A normal argument is about finding a solution. But with a narcissist, it's never about resolution, it's about control. They don't fight fair. They don't care about facts. They don't listen to reason. Instead, they use manipulation, gaslighting, and emotional triggers to keep you confused and under their control. And the worst part, you don't even realize it's happening. At first, everything seems normal. They charm you, make you feel special, gain your trust. But over time, something changes. You start questioning yourself. You feel like no matter what you say, it's wrong. You walk away from conversations feeling drained, guilty, or uncertain. This is narcissistic warfare. And it works because they play with your emotions. They twist your words and make you doubt your own memory. They gaslight you, telling you that you're too sensitive or overreacting. They shift blame so that suddenly you're the one apologizing even when they were wrong. Why? Because a confused, emotionally unstable person is easier to control. And that's exactly what they want to keep you reactive, unsure, and emotionally dependent on them. But here's the truth. You don't have to play their game. The moment you recognize their tactics, you gain back your power. And that starts with understanding why narcissists target certain people and how you can make yourself immune to their influence. Next, let's talk about why narcissists choose their victims and the emotional weaknesses they look for. Why narcissists target you, the weaknesses they look for. Narcissists don't target just anyone. They choose their victims carefully. And if you've ever been caught in their web, it's not because you were weak, it's because you had something they wanted. See, narcissists don't go after people who are cold, detached, or uninterested. They go after the ones with big hearts. The ones who are empathetic, caring, and emotionally open. The ones who see the best in people, even when they shouldn't. The ones who give endless chances, even after being hurt. Because these are the people they can manipulate the easiest. Here's what narcissists look for in a target. Empathy. If you care deeply about others, they see you as an easy source of emotional supply. Self-doubt. If you question yourself, they will twist reality to make you rely on them for truth. A desire to please. If you fear disappointing others, they will guilt trip and pressure you into submission. A strong moral code. If you believe in fairness and honesty, they will use it against you while they break every rule. And here's the scary part. Narcissists test you before fully pulling you in. They push small boundaries to see if you'll resist. They make subtle, hurtful comments to see if you'll challenge them. They shift blame slightly just to see if you'll take responsibility for their mistakes. And if you don't push back, they know they have you. But here's the truth. You can break free. Because the moment you recognize how they operate, you stop being an easy target. The moment you stop seeking their approval, they lose power over you. And the moment you set clear emotional boundaries, they no longer have control. But breaking free starts with one thing: learning how to emotionally detach from them so they can no longer manipulate you. Next, let's talk about the power of emotional detachment and how starving the narcissist of your reactions makes them powerless. The power of emotional detachment, starving the narcissist of control. Narcissists don't just want attention. They need it. And more than anything, they crave a reaction. They don't argue to find solutions. They don't start fights because they care. They push your buttons just to see you break. Why? because the moment you react emotionally, they win. Your anger feeds them. Your frustration energizes them. Your sadness gives them control. But here's how you take your power back. You stop reacting. The second a narcissist sees that their words, actions, and manipulation don't affect you anymore, they lose control. Because without your emotional energy, they feel empty. I think about it. Have you ever noticed how a narcissist gets bored when you stop arguing? How they suddenly switch tactics when you refuse to engage? How they move on to someone else when you stop giving them emotional supply? That's because without a reaction, they have nothing. How to master emotional detachment. Pause before reacting instead of engaging. Take a breath and ask yourself, do they deserve my energy? Use neutral responses. Respond with, okay, noted, or silence. This frustrates them more than arguing. Don't explain yourself. The more you defend yourself, the more they manipulate your words. Keep it short, keep it detached. Detach mentally, not just physically, even if you have to be around them. Train yourself to feel nothing when they try to provoke you. When you stop reacting, you start winning. Because narcissists only have power if you give it to them. And once you master detachment, they lose their grip on you completely. But emotional detachment is just one part of the puzzle. The next step is setting boundaries so strong that a narcissist can't cross them. Next, let's talk about how to create boundaries that make a narcissist powerless. Setting boundaries that a narcissist can't cross. A narcissist doesn't respect boundaries, they test them. They don't hear no as a limit, they hear it as a challenge. They will push. They will guilt trip. They will manipulate. And if you give in, even once they know they can break you, that's why setting boundaries isn't enough. You have to enforce them without hesitation, without guilt, and without explaining yourself. Here's how to create boundaries a narcissist can't cross. Be clear and direct, no room for negotiation. Say what you mean with no softness, no extra words, no apologies. Instead of, I just need some space, I hope you understand. Say, I will not tolerate this behavior. If it happens again, I will leave. Never explain or justify yourself. A narcissist will twist your words, find loopholes, and turn your reasoning against you. You don't owe them an explanation. Your boundary is the explanation. Instead of, I can't talk right now because I'm busy. Say I'm unavailable, that's it. Expect them to push back and stay firm. The moment you set a boundary, they will test it. They will try guilt tripping after everything I've done for you. They will play the victim. I guess you don't care about me anymore. They will throw tantrums, use silent treatment, or lash out. Do not give in. The second you break your own rule, they know you don't mean it. Enforce consequences without emotion. A boundary with no consequence is just a suggestion. If they keep crossing your line, take action. Block them, walk away, limit contact. If they argue, remain calm and repeat, this is not up for discussion. Because the moment a narcissist realizes they can't manipulate you, guilt you, or control you, they lose. But boundaries alone aren't enough. You also need to outsmart them without playing their game. Next, let's talk about how to outmaneuver a narcissist by using silence, strategy, and psychological control. How to outsmart a narcissist without playing their game. A narcissist doesn't want a fair fight. They don't argue for truth, they argue for control. And the moment you react emotionally, they win. They expect you to get defensive. They expect you to explain yourself. They expect you to fall into their trap. But what happens when you don't react? What happens when they try to provoke you? And you give them nothing. They lose their power. How to outsmart a narcissist without playing their game. Master the art of calculated silence. Narcissists thrive on attention and emotional engagement. If you don't engage, they panic. Instead of defending yourself or arguing, say nothing. Let the silence make them uncomfortable. Silence makes them lose control because they can't manipulate what they can't reach. Use strategic disengagement. Narcissists push for a reaction. Refuse to give them one. If they insult you, say you're entitled to your opinion. If they provoke you, say noted. If they try to gaslight you, say, I don't recall that happening. Short, neutral responses deny them the emotional energy they crave. Control your reactions, stay cold, stay unbothered. The calmer you stay, the more frustrated they become. Don't raise your voice. Don't explain. Don't engage in their chaos. Imagine yourself as a gray rock doll, boring and emotionally unavailable. Because here's the truth: narcissists don't know how to handle indifference. They are used to manipulating emotions. They are used to pulling reactions. They are used to being the center of attention. When you take that away, they spiral. And eventually, they either leave you alone or expose their true desperation. You don't need to beat them at their own game. You need to refuse to play. But there's one thing: narcissists are especially good at trapping you in endless cycles of gaslighting, guilt, and manipulation. Next, let's break down the most common narcissistic traps and how to escape them before they destroy your peace. Avoiding traps: gaslighting, guilt, and manipulation. Narcissists don't just lie, they rewrite reality. They don't just blame you. They make you blame yourself. And if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day questioning everything: your memories, your emotions, even your own sanity. This is how they trap you. Not with logic, not with reason, but with gaslighting, guilt tripping, and emotional manipulation. Recognizing their tactics. Gaslighting, twisting reality to make you doubt yourself. They say things like, I never said that. You're imagining things. Or you're too sensitive, you're always overreacting. Over time, you stop trusting your own memory. How to fight back: keep written proof. Trust your instincts. Repeat the facts to yourself. If they say that never happened, you say, yes, it did. No debating, no explaining, just stating the truth. Shifting blame, turning the tables on you. No matter what they do wrong, somehow it's your fault. If they hurt you, they'll say, well, if you hadn't made me angry, I wouldn't have reacted that way. If you call them out, they'll say, I can't believe you're attacking me after everything I've done for you. How to fight back: don't accept blame for what isn't yours. Instead of defending yourself, say, I'm not responsible for your actions. No arguing, no justification, end of discussion. Guilt tripping, making you feel like the bad guy. They use phrases like, after all I've done for you, this is how you treat me. Or you're so selfish, you only care about yourself. They create false guilt so you'll feel obligated to give them another chance. How to fight back: recognize guilt for what it is, a manipulation tactic. Instead of apologizing, stand your ground. If they say you don't care about me, you say that's your opinion, no explanation, no emotional reaction. How to escape their manipulation. Keep written proof, save texts, emails, and messages. When they try to gaslight you, your proof keeps you grounded in reality. Trust your own memory. If something feels off, believe yourself. Stop explaining yourself. The more you explain, the more they twist your words. Walk away from arguments. Narcissists don't argue to find the truth. They argue to win. Don't play their game. Because here's the truth: the less you engage, the weaker they become. And when a narcissist realizes their tricks don't work on you anymore, their power crumbles. But there's one thing that narcissists fear the most: being ignored completely. Next, let's talk about the ultimate defense: indifference and no contact, the one strategy that makes a narcissist completely powerless. The ultimate weapon: indifference, no contact. A narcissist doesn't care if you love them. They don't care if you hate them. As long as you're reacting, they're winning. But the moment you stop giving them your attention, they lose. Because to a narcissist, being ignored is the worst thing that can happen. They thrive on emotional reactions. They crave drama, validation, and control. And when you refuse to engage, refuse to fight, refuse to care, they start to panic. Why indifference is your greatest weapon? Narcissists feed off your emotions, starve them. They want to feel important, make them irrelevant. They expect you to react, stay calm, and give them nothing. Because here's the secret: a narcissist would rather be hated than ignored. The best strategy: no contact. If possible, cut them off completely. Block their number. Delete them from social media. Stop checking on them. Disappear from their world without warning, without explanation. And when they try to guilt trip, hoover, or bait you back in, ignore it. If you can't go no contact, master the gray rock method. If you must interact co-parenting, workplace, family, be as dull and emotionless as possible. Answer only what's necessary. No emotions, no extra words. Become as interesting as a gray rock, so boring that they lose interest. Because when a narcissist realizes they can't get a reaction from you, they will look elsewhere. They will try harder at first, testing you with insults, guilt, or fake kindness. But stay strong. Because once they see you are truly untouchable, once they feel their power fading, once they realize you no longer care, that's when you win. Come. But breaking free from a narcissist isn't just about escaping them, it's about reclaiming your own power. Next, let's talk about how to heal from narcissistic abuse and rebuild your self-worth so you never fall into their trap again. Reclaiming your power, emotional freedom. Escaping a narcissist isn't just about walking away, it's about reclaiming your power. Because even after they're gone, their voice lingers in your mind. The self-doubt, the guilt, the fear that maybe they were right about you. But here's the truth, they weren't. You were never too sensitive. You were never too difficult. You were never not enough. You were just someone they couldn't control. And now, it's time to take your life back. How to heal, rebuild after narcissistic abuse. Step 1, rebuild your self-trust. A narcissist made you doubt yourself. Now, it's time to trust yourself again. Your feelings are valid, your intuition is strong. Start making decisions based on what you feel, not what they made you believe. Step 2, strengthen your self-worth. Remember, you were targeted because you have qualities they lack: empathy, depth, authenticity. They didn't break you. They tried to steal your light because they have none of their own. Rebuild your self-worth by focusing on what makes you powerful, not what they made you feel. Step 3, let go of the need for their approval. The moment you realize you don't need their validation, you win. You don't need them to admit they were wrong. You don't need closure from them. Your healing is your closure. You don't need them to recognize your worth because you already know it. Because once you truly understand this, they have no power over you anymore. You don't have to live in their shadow anymore. You don't have to replay their words in your head. You don't have to carry their weight any longer. You are free. Drop a comment below and share what's one thing you're doing to reclaim your power today. Subscribe for more content on emotional strength, self-mastery, and breaking free from toxic cycles. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message, because healing starts with awareness. You survived them. Now it's time to thrive without them.